Hello everybody once again, and thank you for being in attendance here today, and welcome back to the Paldea National Art Exhibition Center. I will be your tour guide for this evening's incredible, mind-boggling exhibit. You are about to be treated to one of Paldea's finest champions, OnesieBanette, as he displays his newest exhibit of art. Now this art exhibition comes hot off the back of him winning his first Generation 9 championship. And in celebration of being called up to the Pokemon Premier League, Onesie has decided to give us a special exhibition detailing every draft pick he picked this season. So join me as we go on a magical journey. Welcome to the Pokemon Premier League. Now, Onesie was given the 5th pick in this draft, which meant that he had to hope for something very special to make its way to him. And he got very, very lucky in this regard, as his first pick was one of his favorite Pokemon in recent times. Onesie managed to get his hands on Ogerpon. But this isn't just any Ogerpon. This is Ogerpon with every single mask available to him. And this is an incredible feat. It is essentially 4 different Pokemon in one, all with 4 different abilities and 4 different typings. This Pokemon allowed Onesie to start off his draft with a very, very solid base. And this piece that you can see in front of you demonstrates that life is adaptable. It always finds a way, whether it be becoming a fire type, becoming a rock type, or maybe remaining as a grass type. It is always a very good idea to find a way forward. Now, on his second pick, Onesie was able to do something very, very clever. You see, one of Ogerpon's biggest problems is that it does not get much outside of wielding the Cornerstone Mask to hit flying types. And as such, Onesie decided to pick up a powerful electric type this round. And none other than the electric bird itself, Zapdos, was available here. Now Zapdos is a powerful creature that summons electricity and shoots lightning bolts at will, and it is not one to be taken lightly. And this piece here showcases that power is dangerous. You may be traveling along at your regular speed and intensity, and all of a sudden, you can be struck down and damaged by forces outside of your control. So never, ever take what you have for granted. Now, pick number 3 was a difficult one for Onesie, because he'd already established a powerful core. And in order to finish off that core, he decided he would pick something that had a good defensive profile alongside the Pokemon he'd picked already. Now there were a few new toys flying about in this draft, such as Raging Bolt, which was initially on Onesie's plan. But since that dragon type was taken from him, he decided he would take the next best thing, another new dragon type. and decided to take our Chaludon. Now, this Pokemon right here, the Steel Dragon Monster, shares a good defensive synergy with Zapdos and Ogerpon, and also opens the door for some very, very fun strategies. It is defensive, it hits very hard, and it is indeed a very, very good boy. And this piece shows us that even when we are pursuing our goals, if we dig in and connect with each other, we can build a bridge to a better tomorrow. And also, it is a motherfucking dragon. Now the team so far was looking very, very dangerous. And while it is always a good idea to try and fight with all your might, with every scrap of your strength, it's also good to bring along some friends. And sometimes a friend is all you need. So why not bring along something that is exquisitely shaped like a friend? Clodsire was the next pickup, and it did a very good job of being an electric immunity, as well as being a grounded poison. It can basically help synergize well with our Chaludon and Ogerpon, and perform a very stalwart backboard duty. This Pokemon reminds us that it is always important to live life to the fullest, even if your version of doing that is simply flopping around in the mud. Now at this point in the draft, Mr. OnesieBanette was feeling a little bit run down. He was lacking some punching power and needed something to really strike fear into the hearts of his opponents. And as such, he decided to secure the services of a securely fearsome beast. Urshifu Rapid Strike was the next pick, and this piece here shows the dexterity and poise that this magnificent beast holds. An incredible creature that just wants the best for everyone it is in contact with. It has incredible punching power, it is very fast, and it has the ability to help us through our most difficult moments. And as such, this pick encompasses OnesieBanette down to a T. Now moving on to round 6, Onesie was starting to panic. He had no hazard removal, and that simply won't do when you're in a league with 18 other people. And so, he decided he wanted to try and secure some of the best hazard removal left on the board. Now, this next pick shows us that as long as you can preserve and look after your health, the best that you have to offer can surely come flying right out of you. As Onesie secures Talonflame, we must too secure our own vitality and give ourselves the opportunity to accelerate at a gale's pace. Hazard removal, strong defense, lots of speed, and a whole lot of character. This piece really does have it all. Now, the next pick was the most crucial of all of them, as so far Onesie had built a team that functioned well on its own, but lacked a little bit of je ne sais quoi, as it were. And as such, he decided the best thing he could do would be to secure the bag and pick up a Pokemon that would enable an entirely different mode of play. That Pokemon was Politoed. As you can see here, the incredible detailing on the spiral belly, the natural habitat that it secures itself in, right next to an incredible grassland and an incredible swamp. This Politoed has the ability to terrestrialize into either a water, a grass, or a dragon. A dragon which has the ability to fire off powerful attacks and put the fear of God into Onesie's opponents. Now, after securing his weather, it was probably a good time to finish off some archetypes that Onesie had perhaps neglected at this point in the draft. And there really weren't too many around that could help fill that role. And as such, Onesie was forced to turn to a member that he wasn't particularly fond of, but knew had potential. And by sniping her dear boyfriend, Dr. Slacking, from her, Onesie was able to secure the services of Whimsicott this season. Now, as you can see, there is a little bit of impurity still left on this piece of artwork, untainted from when it was first created. The Restorationers decided to leave this impurity right where it is, as not to impact on its effectiveness. And as such, Whimsicott finishes off a 2-Pokemon Dragon Fairy Steel Core that hasn't been seen in draft aeons. And as such, Whimsicott and this piece remind us that we must be mischievous in our everyday lives in order to achieve the best that we have to offer. Remember the playful side of life, and life will go very, very swimmingly for everyone involved. Now, this was coming down to the final dregs of the draft, and Onesie, while he had decided to draft Rain, did not have many ways to abuse it, and so he decided that it was time to pick up some swift swimmers. And the first of his swift swimmers, but surely not the last, is the powerful fish Basculegion. Now, Basculegion is an incredible Pokemon, a fast, powerful swift swimmer that also gives Onesie access to multiple different ways of attacking the opponent. Basculegion's offense is outmatched by a few other swift swimmers, but its utility in being able to hit on both sides of the spectrum, along with getting access to both forms, is a testament to this Pokemon's staying power. Basculegion shows us that we must always persevere and remember those that we have lost along the way, for surely they are always still part of us as a person. Now it is important to remember that resources and utility were becoming scarce at this point in the draft. There were not many hazard removals remaining. There also weren't too many strong dark types remaining, and as such, Onesie decided to dip into the bargain bucket to secure a couple of missing type combinations. and the first of those type combinations was a Dark Rapid Spinner. And this piece here, entitled Morpeko, shows us that we can always have a better side of ourselves. We must remember that there are two different sides of us, the duality of man. One always satisfied and one always hungry for more. And Morpeko shows us that those two are always with us. The detailing on the ground, the incredible colour in the cheeks. This piece truly is a OnesieBanette masterstroke. Now moving swiftly on to our next piece, we have access here to a very special otherworldly piece. A swift swimming Golduck, which helps to round out the draft right here. There are some incredible momentum gaining abilities that Golduck has access to, such as Flip Turn, and with a usable attack and special attack, it fit very nicely alongside Basque Legion on a rain-dedicated team. Now this Golduck has access to some unrivaled abilities. It can terrestrialize into a water, a grass, and the brand newly discovered Stellar type. And hopefully, Onesie will be able to make a claim on making this Pokemon work very well. Let's hope he can do just that this season. And finally, this brings us to our last piece of the exhibit. I hope you've all enjoyed very much so far. Now, the final piece here is going to be Beartic, a final swift swimmer that offered a little bit of a different typing to what many would have been expecting from such a Pokemon. Now, this Beartic in its natural habitat shows that it is always possible to adapt and overcome to challenges that you may face throughout life. If you come against the trees, you will be able to cover them in snow. You will be able to adapt your environment to bend to your will. And as such, you should then be able to live a happy and fulfilled life. We hope you have enjoyed this exhibit very, very much, and look forward to supporting our champion, OnesieBanette, in all his future endeavours. Goodbye for now, and we shall see you in the first week of the Pokemon Premier League. Okay, now we've had our fun. I hope you've enjoyed the art show. I love doing these. I just think it's a really fun way of doing things. I did one for the PBA last season, but didn't end up uploading any videos. But I think they are a very fun way to do a draft analysis. But as we end off here, I just want to give a very brief overlook at the team as a whole and show you how they work as a unit. But as you can see, you know, it's a fun team. It's a rain team. I wanted to initially pair Ogerpon with Raging Bolt, but wasn't able to do so, and as such decided to pivot away from that into a draft that basically had the option of going Sicko Rain mode. Maybe I'm a little bit too over-reliant on the rain here. I do have a couple of really powerful rain sweepers that can function with or without it, but I think this was a fun draft to do. I was very happy with how this turned out in the end. I thought I managed to make a very good idea out of what essentially was a massive snipe fest, and I like this draft. I think it's a very fun draft, and I'm very, very much looking forward to using it this season. But yes, let me know what you think about it down below. Let me know what you thought of all the art pieces. I definitely didn't spend way too long doing those. But yes, let me know what you think. And thank you very much for watching. And look forward to seeing my debut in the new edition of the Pokemon Premier League. Let's get it, guys.